Well, after two hefty defeats, Sheffield Eagles coach Mark Aston has made one or two changes, not able to make that many because of injuries. But Johnny Woodcock remains at fullback, then it's Danny Mills, James Ford returns to the side in the centres, Mike Roby keeps his place at the expense of Damien Reid, then it's Rob Warren-C, Brendan Lindsay and Dominic Brambani. In the forwards, Jack Howison, the captain, is back at prop. It's Paul Pickering starts in the 9 shirt. Grant Edwards is out injured. Mitchell Stringer, Alex Shostak, Tommy Traylor and Matt Whitaker at loose forward. And on the bench, Dane McDonald, Craig Brown, Michael Hill comes into the equation and Tom Buckingham. Adam Hayes misses out from the bench for Mark Aston, the coach. Now Widnes Vikings have Ian Hardman at fullback, then it's Dean Gaskell, Steve Tyrer, Chris Dean, Gavin Dodd, John Duffy and Matty Smith. And in the forwards, Ian Morrison, Mark Smith, he starts in the 9 shirt, Jim Gannon, Lee Patterson, Richard Fletcher and Bob Bezic, who reverts to loose forwards. And on the bench, a welcome sight for Vikings fans. Tim Hartley is back after a long injury absence, joining Sam Barlow, Gareth Morton and Michael Ostick on the bench for the coach, Steve McCormack. So the Sheffield Eagles looking to lift themselves after two hefty defeats. We saw them lose 52-8 at the Celtic Crusaders, and the week before that they were hammered by the Celtic Crusaders 52-8 to the Widnes, to Whitehaven as well. So they've got a bit of recovering to do, of the Sheffield Eagles, to generate a bit of enthusiasm from those supporters. And the Widnes Vikings fans hoping that their side can secure a top 6 place, which, given Phil, they started the season 9 points down after that points deduction, is a great achievement if it happens.
Well, sooner or later there will be a team that go on to win a grand final from the bottom of the playoff spots. Widnes are a side with the potential to do that. We'll see over the course of tonight's game whether they're playing with the sort of form and ability at present and necessarily the confidence to go away from home, travel away and win in pressure situations. This is the start almost of sudden death playoff time for them, and it's a march to the grand final, but one that they are capable of, and Steve McCormack and the squad fully know that.
Steve McCormack saying on Boots and All this week that their Achilles heel this season has been their inconsistency. Only 2 away wins in the campaign at Batley and Dewsbury, and they're looking to improve on that record here tonight. And they've got a pretty good record here at Sheffield as well. In fact, they've beaten Sheffield twice already this season, and so they have got the edge over this Sheffield Eagles side. It's going to be interesting to see how this Sheffield side, led out now by Jack Howison, respond to these 2 hefty defeats.
Well, many regular viewers of this division will tell you that Sheffield on paper perhaps have the stronger pack, but Widnes maybe have more class and pace and skill out wide in the backs. Sheffield traditionally have played well here on the home ground, but they'll have to play very well here tonight. They will obviously be the underdogs going into this game. Widnes slight favourites, but Sheffield with the pride again on the line. Also have some talent out there. Mark Aston knows his side can get up for this game. Need to get up for the start particularly well.
Well, they certainly provided us with entertainment last time we were here. Dave Merritt, the referee, with that amazing finish with Dominic Brambani landing a drop goal to win the game against Featherstone Rovers from over 40 metres out. And a repeat of that sort of drama would be very good viewing. But let's have a ball to play with first. That would be a good start. There is Mitchell Stringer, a key performer for this Sheffield Eagles side. They do have a very big pack, and it's important for them that they fire on all cylinders, but he hasn't been fully fit in recent weeks, Mitch Stringer. Jack Howison, his fellow prop, only just back from a calf injury. So a lot for them to offer for their side tonight, and Sheffield looking certainly for more vigorosity from their team early in the contest. But it's Widnes in possession first, and Ian Morrison with that first drive for the Vikings, who know that a win here tonight will make certain of their top 6 finish. But if they don't win, well, it opens the door for the Sheffield Eagles, because the Eagles played Dewsbury, already relegated in their last fixture, and Widnes faced Whitehaven, a tough end to the season for them. So they need to get the job done here tonight.
You can very often tell how fired up a game are from the first time they have possession. Widnes now, with good strong carries, should get over the halfway line. and that shows that there's no problem with their attitude or their go forward here tonight.
Matty Smith puts the kick in. It's a strong and deep one. Thankfully, the skies have cleared. It's almost like a summer's day here.
Widnes need to be strong on their kick chase, and particularly on the completions. They need to make Sheffield work very hard. The back three in Woodcock, Danny Mills and Rob Warranty is really quick, really fast, and puts pressure on any team.
Well, Widnes putting the pressure on there on Sheffield, struggling to get the ball away. There's James Ford back in the side, missed the humiliation at Whitehaven last time out, an embarrassment, Mark Aston described it, and it was a very sombre journey back from Haven for this beaten Sheffield Eagles side last Thursday. It's the Eagles in possession now, and here's Howison. Jim Gannon there to meet him for Steve McCormack's team. And the kick from Lindsay straight into the hands of Gaskell, and Gaskell quickly to Hardman in the centre of the field.
A nice linkage there with the fullback. It means that the Sheffield defenders centre field have to get up quickly and make that and complete the tackle. You now see the left winger Gavin Dodd getting involved. Most three for Widnes have been Gaskell here now, the third of the back three field players here to carry this ball. So important to Widnes, these three players, to get the whole side going forward. Nice offload to Gannon, and all of a sudden they're already on the halfway line.
3 tackles gone, and then Mark Smith with the sniping run. Smith starting this one, was on the bench last week. Here's Bezic. Bezic continuing to the 5th tackle. And what's the kick like now from Smith? Putting a bit of pressure on Woodcock. Woodcock, eyes on the ball, solid as a rock underneath that, the Eagles fullback.
Well, it was a perfect kick, absolutely perfect. Just 1 or 2 metres away from the try line. Unfortunately for Widnes, they weren't able to get enough players there to contest the ball coming down, and also to put pressure on Woodcock. He took it cleanly, nobody around him. Maybe you've got to compliment some of the Sheffield players who just provided that element of cover there for the fullback.
There is Johnny Woodcock. And it's great defence from the Widnes Vikings to be right up in the face of Mitch Stringer there.
Well, that's proof, isn't it? You can attack your opponents in rugby league even when you don't have the ball. You can put them under pressure by getting up quickly, being aggressive and challenging and wrestling in the tackle whenever possible. And Sheffield are doing it tough in the opening few minutes.
And Howison struggling to make progress there, so Brambani puts the kick in. Maybe thinking of a 40-20, the ball skipping into the hands of Dean Gaskell, and Gaskell will bring it back.
When a team kicks early in the tackle count, it means they're struggling to gain the yardage. Sheffield chose to kick the ball nice and early. Maybe an indicator how strong the defence was of Widnes.
Gavin Dodd plays the ball, the Irish international, to another Irish international, Bob Bezic, who takes the tackle on that Widnes 40-metre line. So the two sides in the first 5 minutes here really testing each other out. And then Morrison right up the middle for the Vikings. He's tackled on the halfway line. 4 tackles gone. The kick into the corner. Oof, Woodcock. Well, eventually he went for that and then decided, no, I'm having nothing to do with it.
I think, again, it's an excellent kick. Second one
Ooh,
there now.
you know, he got a touch to that. He got a touch to that.
Now then, will the referee get to hear about this?
Jim, you've got to get out of that rough.
Well, Sheffield seems to have got away with it, but it's clear, isn't it, from that angle? No,
or is it
not that clear?
Maybe not.
With the bounce of the ball was what deceived us.
So well done, touch judge then. Not having the benefit of replays. Made his decision, and it was the right one. There's a good ball from Whittaker to Ford. Ford finds Warranty. Warranty gets a hold of the ball and then finds a gap in the defence. Now Warranty has got the pace, but Hardman has the strength and makes the tackle. Quick play the ball from Warranty though, and Widnes could be stretched here if the Sheffield Eagles can get this ball wide to the other wing. Danny Mills. Roby it is, Mike Roby, and the ball out of play. That's good defence from the Vikings. They were up against it there.
What a great defensive effort there by Christie. No, they were split on the right-hand side. He knew that him and his Duffy and partner had to get back. They forced him over the sideline. Look at the ball, firstly from Whittaker, then eventually it goes on to Warranty. Great pace, and it's almost a Radlinski-type fullback stop, isn't it? Ian Hardman, the man to deny Warranty, hold him up, and enough of the Widnes players got back to cover.
So an early warning to the Vikings of the pace of Rob Warranty. He does have his flaws, his handling not always as precise as his coach would want, but Mark Aston recently gave him a vote of confidence, says he offers the side so much, does Rob Warrensey, his enthusiasm, his pace, his willingness to work. Here's Ian Morrison now. One of the Scottish internationals out there, no doubt hoping to be involved in their World Cup campaign. Maddie Smith tackled just on the halfway line now for the Widnes Vikings. Here is Richard Fletcher, another of the Scots, and Fletcher shows the ball and takes them on. Almost shepherded to the touchline. And Maddie Smith, under a little bit of pressure, puts another good kick in, and this is Warrensey's, or is it? Well, Warrensey back to Woodcock, and they got away with it. I'm not sure if that was the plan.
Excellent kick again there. Warrensey positioned himself. He anticipated that the ball was going to be sent in field. But again, Sheffield are under so much pressure here, both from the kicks and then when they're trying to carry the ball forward. He did well to knock the ball backwards, and he was lucky that his teammate Woodcock was there to help out. But this is tough work. This is a question now whether you've come with a mental toughness to the game. Have you really brought your boots? Do you really want to play and do the hard yards?
Well, Whittaker making some for the Sheffield Eagles, but 4 tackles gone, struggling to get out of their own territory. So Brambani puts the kick in, but Hardman, very experienced, 5 seasons as St Helens player, this lad, was there to collect the ball for the Widnes Vikings. And then Jack Howison there to make the tackle.
He's an important player for the Sheffield side, Jack Howison. It was Mitch in the defeat to Whitehaven last week, and I thought they struggled in the yardage. Mitch Stringer's come up with 12 tries this season. He's a prolific try scorer for a forward, and he can defend as well as we see, but he can't do the glory stuff without the donkey work and the unglamorous stuff that Howison gets through.
Well, Morrison doing that for the Widnes Vikings now, and Howison with the tackle. 2 Scottish internationals going head-to-head there. Here's Smith. Patterson, and now the ball finds Gavin Dodd via Steve Tyrer, and Dodd comes back in field. That's the 5th tackle. Oh, that's not a good ball, and Maddie Smith makes something out of it with the kick, and Warrensey comes for that one and collects.
Well, all you've got to do really is compliment the kicks, but again, good play by Warrensey. He's offloaded to Whittaker. There's some confidence on this right side flank here now for the Sheffield side. Whether it be James Ford, Warrensey or Whittaker, the 3 of them have combined well.
And then it's Danny Mills who is tackled. There is a bit of pace about this Sheffield side. The ball back on the inside, and Woodcock stepped away from the challenge, and he's still stepping Woodcock. He's got support from Ford. Ford back in the side. Ford gets the first try of the night, 7th of the season for James Ford. Well, what great work again from the fullback, Johnny Woodcock. He's shown he can defend, and there he was involved in creating that try for the Sheffield Eagles. The first try of the game, and Mark Aston sending out the signals. Knows there's a long way for his side to go, but James Ford, who missed the embarrassment at Whitehaven through injury, giving them the lift they wanted.
Well, staying alive and staying on your feet is the hard part of rugby league. Woodcock does that, doesn't he? Spins out of the tackle, accelerates through the gap, and then he's delighted to see in support the nice easy pass that he delivers to James Ford. And I tell you what, after receiving so many body blows and coming off second best in so many of the physical confrontations, Sheffield have shown that they are a class side, and there will be a dangerous proposition here for the Widnes Vikings.
And Woodcock will have the opportunity to add to his season's tally of 83 goals. Regularly a prolific point scorer, Johnny Woodcock, was so for Doncaster, set the record there, and continuing with that sort of form for the Sheffield Eagles. And this conversion, bang in front of the posts, and the Eagles, after being under a little bit of pressure early on, broken out, they've gone ahead by 6-0.
Johnny Woodcock, the Sheffield fullback, has been an ever-present for his side this year. He trails that middle and looks for the offloads, and he thrives on broken defences. Shows all the speed and skill here. Just gives a simple pass to James Ford. Sheffield off to a great start. Mark Aston delighted with the start his side's made.
Well, he will be, and a bit of a problem for the Widnes Vikings. Mark Smith off already, got a bang obviously. And
Put over his left eye, Bill.
yeah, he's going to need a bit of treatment.
They are fortunate that they have Bob Bezic, who's starting as number 13 and played at the back of the scrum today, but he's a very, very good dummy half player, behind the ruck, controlling the side, looking for gaps, and he can very easily slot into that vital role.
Well, Gareth Morton has gone on, and imagine Morton will go to the loose forward role, and Bezic will do that hooking role. Steve McCormack having to ring the changes, seeing his side concede that try. It's a lively Sheffield side. They really were stung by what's happened to them these last couple of weeks. 94 points conceded in those two games against Celtic and Whitehaven. It's a good kick. That is a good kick.
That is fantastic rugby league. 2 long passes. There was some deception as if Stringer was going to take it down the middle of the field. Then the kick, and look at the chase there now. They've scored a try, and they've now found some life. They want to get involved, make some tackles, but avoid giving away penalties, which is what they've just done.
Yeah, just getting a little bit too enthusiastic there.
It's Mitch Stringer, the big guy with number 10 on his back, just trying to gain that extra second. This is an excellent kick. Everybody in the red shirt knows exactly what's happening. They're going to put pressure on Ian Hardman. They do that to great effect.
So what's the Vikings' response to that setback? They have possession. They're with Ian Morrison. Morrison carrying on the Mick Cassidy tradition of flowing blonde locks in the Vikings pack. There's Gareth Morton, first involvement for him off the bench, playing the ball. Good position this for the Vikings. Smith, Tyra, great hands, but run out of room. Good defence as well, and Gavin Dodd into touch. But that was very confident from the Vikings.
Some wonderful rugby league here. Stephen Tyra does so well to skip between the two defenders, keeps the ball alive, then it's flicked on, and I think Warrency prevents the try. Yes, he does. We see confirmation there from the head-on camera angle. Great rugby league all around there. Sheffield's defence was good enough to cover, but Tyra's footwork there to just put in between the players, keep the ball alive to Patterson. Quick hands then on to Dodd, but good defence.
Let's just give Rob Warrency a big hand here, and we talked about him a couple of times already. One thing you've got in Rob Warrency is a big, powerful athlete. Manhandles Gavin Dodd into touch there. There's a couple of defenders to cope with, makes the right decisions, and Gavin Dodd just can't get that ball down in the corner.
And the decision is a 20-metre restart, so a warning to the Sheffield Eagles there that Widnes Vikings can put a flowing attack together as well, and then it's the Widnes Vikings who concede the penalty.
The referee says that Jim Gannon put his hand on the ball, not allowing Sheffield to get up and play the ball as quick as they would like.
So that releases the pressure on the Sheffield Eagles. Penalty apiece now then, and it's the Eagles in possession with Tommy Traylor. And now Mitchell Stringer. Here's Brambaney. Brambaney confronted by a black and white wall there. Nowhere for him to go as Bezic and Gannon make the tackle. Now Whittaker. Again, Gannon is involved. Morton there to assist him. Pickering now. Brambaney. It's time to shift it wide. Lindsay trying to duck underneath the challenge. 4 tackles gone. They're threatening this Widnes line. They're going down the short side. Traylor pops the ball out the back door. Good hands from Lindsay. Lindsay then offloads to Stringer. Stringer trying to keep it alive. He does as well. Jack Howison now. Howison. He offloads out the back door. Brambaney. This is great stuff. Here's Shostak. Whittaker puts a little kick in. It's not a good one, and Gavin Dodd saw that one coming, and he'll run it back.
Well, again, great entertainment. This time it was Sheffield who kept the ball alive, and Widnes who kept their composure in defence. Everyone sliding across, keeping the line intact, filling any holes, answering any challenges that were put through. Dodd again took the ball and took it happily. Now we're ending to see an end-to-end game, primarily because of the number of penalties that both sides are conceding. This time here, the 2 markers are not square. Get involved in the tackle.
Oh, and it's not a good penalty. Didn't find touch, and Warrency did well there. Well, that is a cardinal error from the Widnes Vikings.
No lifting. Whoa,
no, well, that could have been a penalty. No lifting, and Bob Bezic lifted him right over the top.
2 of you. No, 2 of you. Get away.
Those penalties, Phil, are coach killers. You're trying to build some pressure, you're trying to get some territory.
You get out there. Keep
It's
it
Bob Bezic
flexible.
who just picks a leg up, trying to take Rob Warrence's momentum away from him.
The bigger worry then is the failed kick to touch from Matthew Smith. Warrants does well, keeps the ball back in field.
He's
And
an
with this-
athlete, isn't he, Phil?
Played a very good start to the game.
Howison doing well to keep that ball alive, and now it's Tommy Trailer.
Go.
The Eagles ahead by 6 points to 0. Ball out wide for Roby. Roby spinning, and he's over the line. He's got the try, I think. He has. Mike Roby gets that ball down. I think it's Mike Roby in the middle of all that. It was. Roby selected ahead of Damien Reed by Mark Aston, and the Eagles get a second try. And it was the penalty really that led to all that pressure for the Widnes Vikings. And Sheffield have made it tell, and Mike Roby getting his 7th try of the season.
Well, Widnes compounded the penalty with them one to for dissent. Here's the chance that they had to be attacking at one end of the field. Warranty does a remarkable job, keeps the ball alive. They're penalised and then penalised again for dissent. And that will be a problem and concern for Widnes and their attitude at present. But you've got to give some compliment here to Matt Whitaker. This is the second time that he's run at the line and given that delayed pass to one of his teammates. Earlier it was a centre Ford, this time it's Roby, and he does well to crash through, spin but keep the balance and awareness and ground the ball successfully in goal. That's a wonderful try now on the left-hand side, one previously on the right. Strong start from Mark Aston.
So Woodcock, one success so far. That was bang in front of the posts, converting James Ford's try. This one a tougher proposition. And around the corner kicking style from him. Not much of a run up to it, but he's landed that one as well. And Sheffield ahead by 12 points to 0 here. And 2 great tries from this Eagles side. Mark Aston getting the response he wanted.
Transition's a very important thing in rugby league, from attack to defence, and Sheffield did this to great effect. It's a great piece of handling from Roby, who just manages to get that ball down under pressure from 2 Widnes players.
That's Mike Roby's first try since Widnes in the Northern Rail Cup in April, when Sheffield were hammered. And Roby getting one of their consolation tries that day, so he's waited a while to get on the score sheet. Interestingly, 3 of the 4 centres out there are from St Helens and have a Saints Academy association. Tyra Dean and Mike Roby. James Ford, the odd man out. He's a West Yorkshire lad, and here he is in possession now, Ford. And Ford finds Warranty on his outside, and Warranty now has feet, has the speed. He's got the men inside him, but he's going to take on Hardman. He couldn't find anybody there in time, but Ford is there now, and again, Widnes struggling to get back in defence. Oh, and the ball drops in the middle of the field by Lindsay, and a golden chance goes begging for the Sheffield Eagles. I thought Warranty might get away there. Again, though, Hardman standing firm. There's the mistake from Brendan Lindsay.
Well, great run by Ford to get on the outside, and look at that nice soft pass to Warranty. Here was the challenge, first for the fullback, and I tell you what, Ian Hardman does it particularly well. He positions himself and makes life very hard for Warranty. Stop the tackle. That was a that is a reward of 6 points there. Ian Hardman has just scored 6 points. He saved them on the scoreboard. That's a massive point. 12 points to 0 isn't too big of a deficit in rugby league, but at 18 you do start to get a little concerned, and it can affect the performance of a side.
So they owe a big debt to their full-back, to the Widnes Vikings, to the rescue once again. And Sheffield Eagles, worryingly for the Vikings, are able to find plenty of space out there. They've exposed this Widnes defence on a couple of occasions now.
James Ford has done a great job in the centre, and he's had a couple of inquiries from some West Yorkshire clubs. Player attracting some attention, but for tonight he's happy to do a job for Sheffield and having a great game. Just on the previous break, we've credited Ian Hardman. There's James Ford in your screen. We credited Ian Hardman, but Gavin Dodd actually pointed to the player. As a full-back, you need to make a decision. Gavin Dodd made it a lot easier for him.
So here's Whitaker. Sheffield, after being under a little bit of pressure early on, have dominated the last 15 minutes or so.
No, we got a foot to it.
And they're in possession now. Brambani puts the kick into the corner, and Hardman will watch that one bobble onto the athletic track behind the dead ball line.
Whenever I've seen games played here, it's very hard for teams to keep the ball on the grass. It invariably bounces and rolls onto the athletic track at the end. It's hard to almost put a handbrake on possession and get the ball just to sit around the try line area.
Sheffield Eagles hoping for their first win against Widnes of this season, the first win against Widnes for quite some time. 2001, last time they beat the Vikings. And one of their most famous wins, Sheffield's famous wins, was 1989 by 31 points to 6. But that was 4 days after Widnes had beaten Canberra in the World Club Challenge. So I think perhaps they weren't playing against a possibly fully on-song Widnes Vikings side. They are tonight. It's a Widnes Vikings side that knows they need to win this one to make certain of a top 6 place. And they've got a bit of work to do after early setbacks here. Warrensey grappling with Tyra. Tyra, who made such a dramatic start to his Widnes Vikings career with those 2 tries against Salford on Skye. Woodcock underneath that kick and gets away from the follow-up. He did well there.
Sensational play by Johnny Woodcock. Firstly to get over and take the ball, and then take the tackle and survive as well through it. Look at that, he had to run, difficult kick. Just to ride over the tackle of Fletcher. Can Widnes build any pressure here by getting up into the face of the Sheffield side? Obtain any goal forward? That's strong leg drive in the tackle by Ford.
He plays the ball. Pickering finds Brambani. Brambani puts another early kick in, and it's a good, well-placed one in between Gaskell and Hardman, and the chase led by Brambani stops Hardman just outside his 20. An offside against the Sheffield Eagles, and that'll help the Vikings.
That's a real shame for Sheffield. Their kick chase was excellent. They couldn't control Ian Hardman enough and just surrendered that penalty.
And Matty Smith making sure that that one does find touch. So Widnes just need a little bit of composure. Rattled early on here. Sambalo has come on to replace Jim Gannon. Looked marginally forward. Morrison took the pass though. Here is Smith now. One of these lone players from St Helens, and Richard Fletcher almost stretching out there. He was very close to getting a hand free to reach out for the line, but this is a great opportunity, but the pass goes astray, to say the least.
Well, it's the type of play that St Helens make look so easy. It's why every team in Super League tries to emulate it. But Cunningham's decision-making and his passing ability are probably what separates him from almost every other player in this country. He delivers the right pass at the right time. The players running into the holes know that if they can keep hold of it, they've got every chance of crashing over the line.
Well, that's good defence from Widnes. They've forced the knock-on.
And it's John Duffy who forces that error. He was the bloke at Acton half who threw the mistimed pass. I think he might have stripped that ball, you see. An experienced campaigner, John Duffy. Nevertheless, he's got possession back for his team.
Now then, Widnes looking to create something with this set of 6. Ford was maybe guilty of being a bit late to that one. Patterson now. Patterson operating in the second row for Steve McCormack tonight. Here's Sam Barlow, 19 years old, a former Giants and Halifax player, Barlow. Matty Smith now. Ball with Tyra. Chris Dean, I beg your pardon. Dean plays the ball. Matty Smith, and Morrison manages to get it away. Smith again, and Smith, great footwork from him, almost took him through. It was, guess who? Dominic Brambani who made the tackle that time. That's a teasing kick from Bezic, but just too strong, or maybe nobody on the same wavelength.
Well, nobody can get the ball to stay in the in-goal area. You almost need to invent a different style of kicking the ball, don't you? A much softer one where it will only go a shorter distance. Because as he toes it through, it's always going over the dead ball line.
course, this ground now being shared, and this is a bone of contention for the Sheffield Eagles with Rotherham United, and it's putting a little bit of pressure on the relationship at the moment between these two, because both having to use the facilities. The Eagles not allowed at the moment to train on this surface regularly, as that's a good kick from Brambani. Just relieves a little bit of pressure that was building up on the Sheffield side. Mark Aston will be satisfied with that.
I'm not sure whether Mark Aston would encourage his kickers to keep the ball in the field of play and tire these Widnes players out. It's very strong, that kick, and it is an issue, Phil. Perhaps people at home can't judge it. It's maybe 5 or 6 metres, where most dead balls are well above that, so it's a difficult adjustment for the players. The Sheffield team, you would imagine, would be well used to it.
Well, Widnes out to prove a point, of course, with the remainder of this season. Deducted 9 points before the campaign started for going into administration, and denied a Super League licence, harshly they feel. So what better way to respond to that sort of adversity than to get to a grand final and to win it? But they're not going to do that with that sort of play.
You have to play well, don't you? You can't worry about what happened 6 months ago, or 9 months ago, or even 9 minutes ago. Got to improve what they're doing right now, and playing possession. Perhaps a frustration. They've been at it now for 25 minutes, and they're still struggling to find a way of breaking through Sheffield's defence, which we really haven't complimented at this stage in the game. Every player's getting there and making those important one-on-one tackles.
Warranty coming in for a bit of treatment, and another penalty conceded, which puts them under pressure. Mick Hill is on there in the middle of your screen, this former Canberra Raider lower grades player, who's come into the reckoning this week for the Eagles. And there he is, a clap of the hands, wants to get things moving for this Sheffield side. He does now, and Lindsay taking on the line, and Traylor, good defence to cut down Tommy Traylor. They're going down that short side again. The ball is popped up to Whittaker, and Whittaker wrestling for progress there. Hill fires the pass out, not a good one. Trapped by Lindsay, finds Brambani. Brambani, little spurt of speed, trying to find a gap, nothing doing there. Widnes holding firm this time, and 4 tackles gone. Here is Lindsay, floats the pass out to James Ford, and Ford trying to get the ball out the back door. There was a Sheffield hand on, a Widnes hand on that. And it's still on the last. The referee deciding that they haven't played at that ball. And a little bit of a mix-up now. And Whittaker puts the kick in, and it's straight into the arms of Dodd. And that comes to a pretty scruffy ending for the Sheffield Eagles side, and Dodd made sure he held on to that. Now here's Ian Hardman.
On last tackle plays, when you see a forward like that, sometimes it's the untidy kick and the scruffy kick that causes problems. That was neither high, it was neither hard, and didn't really bother Gavin Dodd. But Sheffield, in the last couple of minutes, they're choosing to promote the ball and use their offload. I think in the mentality, they figure they've took enough gas out of the tank of Widnes.
So Widnes struggling to make a bit of progress on this set of 6. Needs to be a good kick. It's straight down the middle of the field, and Warranty and Woodcock just decide who's going to take this one. Do you know, National League 2 action coming up next Thursday on Sky Sports 3, 7:30. Big game for Gateshead Thunder. Didn't think you'd hear that said this season, but Gateshead Thunder celebrating their crowning as champions, they hope, next Thursday at Kingston Park, and you can see that on Sky Sports. But I suspect that Ellery Hanley's Doncaster will go there to spoil the party, because a lot to play for still this season for Doncaster. So Gateshead Thunder against Doncaster next Thursday on Sky Sports. Sorry, Phil.
Just going to make a point about Rob Warranty. He's wearing number 5 for Sheffield, playing primarily on the right wing. Just watch how he trails almost all across the field at different times in the match. I don't think there's a player on the field who's more running off the ball to help his teammates and help himself to look one of the best players that he can be here by his involvement in the game. Good kick again by Sheffield. They're managing to work the way upfield and just grind down, I think, the mentality of this Widnes side. This is a test here now for Mark Smith, Bob Bezic, and the other Widnes Vikings here to work through and grind out and work their way back into the match.
They trail by 12 points to 0. Oh, and then Hardman, normally so reliable. And anxiety, I think, is evident now for Widnes.
Well, again, look who's in his face. Rob Warrington, number 5. Up quickly. It was an award for enthusiasm. He'd win it immediately.
So Ian Hardman, battered and bruised and feeling a bit sorry for himself now as Lindsay threatens, almost on the first play, getting underneath the posts. Mick Hill now pops the ball up. It's with Tom Buckingham. Buckingham plays the ball. Widnes on their own trial, and that's great defence. That is good defence at the play the ball, and it was Richard Fletcher, I think, who did the damage.
You know, it's always a gamble whenever you come off your own line and try to tap the ball out of an opponent's hand. Sometimes you can get penalised for that. It's come off for Widnes on this occasion. They need to be stronger coming away from their own line. They're relying heavily on Ian Hardman. As we see the replay, tapped the ball out of the hand of, I think it's Mick Hill.
And the reaction from Sam Barlow was just as crucial. He got there quickly to snap up the loose ball. Then the penalty goes to Widnes. Could this be a turning point for them coming up to the half-hour mark?
They haven't really shown too much in attack, have they? Dummy half runs, picking up from behind the player the ball and running quickly is about all they've really had to offer at this stage in the game. The speed of them have actually earned them some penalties for the side, but they've not been able to convert that into attacking options.
Matty Smith now, Bezic quickly closed down by James Ford. Nick Stringer has returned to replace Tommy Traylor. Just to shore things up in the middle of the field. Barlow was looking to offload that. This is a great opportunity now for Widnes. They could do with something at this stage of the game, just as half-time approaches. Quick hands. Duffy it was. Finding his full-back Hardman. Mark Smith restored and on the score sheet, and that is what the Vikings needed. And he made that look so simple, the Vikings captain. And at last the travelling support have got something to cheer about. And that gets Widnes on the scoreboard and maybe just settles a few nerves.
Well, Widnes have been the best side at running from dummy half in this game, and that's what Mark Smith does to score the try. It's probably the simplest way you can score. Pick the ball up, go hard for the line. There aren't any passes, any risks involved, other than Smith dodging, weaving, ducking out of tackles. Importantly, getting his side back on the scoreboard.
Celebrates his 27th birthday next week. So an early present for Mark Smith. And a welcome present for the Vikings, and a couple of points from Steve Tyrer wouldn't go amiss either. 34 goals this season, of course, some for Saints, quite a few for St Helens before coming here on loan. And this one should be 2 more for his tally. (12-6) the scoreline as half-time nears. Still a few minutes to go in this first half, and Mark Smith's try. First signs of a Widnes rejuvenation.
Widnes are the same as any side in this National League and indeed in Super League. If they get near their opponent's line, they've got a good chance of scoring. Mark Smith is particularly good with his show and grow. His speed and his guile always cause his teams problems. Widnes have not spent enough time on their opponent's line.
Good line. No penalties, boys.
So Steve McCormack probably a bit more pleased with his side, but they've got a lot of work to do still. They still trail by 12-6. And they're in possession now with Gavin Dodd. Sheffield just trying to slow things down at the play the ball there. 3 tackles gone. As Fletcher plays the ball. Off goes Duffy. A bit more speed from this Widnes side on this attack. Here's Michael Ostick off the bench for the Vikings, plays that ball. Duffy, teasing kick into the corner. Gaskell is chasing. Oh, Gaskell could capitalise on that. I think he's just run out of room. And the normally immaculate Johnny Woodcock there, just fumbling that ball. It was a teasing kick from Duffy, but did Gaskell get there in time to cash in?
Well, the difficulty for Woodcock was predicting whether Smith or Duffy would get the ball to kick it here on this play. It went to the right-hand side and meant that Woodcock had to travel further. The first thing we view is whether his teammates are onside. From that angle, it appears that they are. Woodcock tracks across, ball bounces away from him, And Gaskell, does he grind it before the line? I think he does. We talked about Warren's enthusiasm on the right wing for Sheffield. Dean Gaskell has been very impressive for Widnes.
And the try is awarded. And Dean Gaskell getting his reward for being alert to the chance there. Johnny Woodcock, well, normally so rock solid at the back for Sheffield Eagles, making the error.
Getting the length of the kick right is the hardest skill here from Duffy, and he does that, doesn't he? It's a soft kick that bounces 10 metres from the try line, but still bounces and goes over the line. That enables Gaskell, with his enthusiasm, to get in there, take advantage of the fortunate bounce, and score the second rather quick responsive try here now from Widnes. They've conjugated their attack well and been rewarded for it.
So Dean Gaskell, he is one of the fittest and strongest around in the National Leagues, well, possibly even Super League. He's always been a keen trainer. He's had his share of injuries as well, but he was Johnny on the spot there for the Widnes Vikings, and suddenly their game is transformed. Looked out of sorts for the first half hour. Sheffield enjoying most of the possession and all the points, and now Tyra with a chance to level the scores with this conversion. The Widnes supporters behind him enjoying the sight of that one going over, and it's 12 points all.
We've already mentioned that Rotherham Football Club play here. That means the pitch has got to be hard enough to play football on. Whenever you let a rugby league ball bounce, it can go anywhere, and Johnny Woodcock saw that. The enthusiasm that Dean Gaskell showed here, he's had an outstanding season, just never gave up. Got it down inches before that dead ball line.
That's the sort of enthusiasm Ireland will need in the World Cup.
Well, all of the work that Widnes did to get them into that position was then rewarded on the last play. But runs like the one you've just seen there from Fletcher, driving your arms, pumping your legs through the tackle, and then getting up as quickly as you possibly can to play it, was what afforded Widnes the opportunity for Duffy to show his skills in attack and Gaskell to show how keen he was to score.
2 tries in the space of 4 minutes for the Widnes Vikings, and they're on the charge again here now. Duffy finds Matty Smith, and Smith is tackled, or is he? He gets to his feet. Tackle not complete, says Dave Merritt, the referee. They could be in again here. It's with Tyra, and Tyra for the line, and Tyra with the try. Oh, what a transformation in this game. From 12-0 down, they're 16-12 up in the space of 5 minutes. And Steve McCormack can't believe it, neither can Mark Aston.
Well, all the skill we'd seen on show up until this point had been in the red jerseys. Sheffield had shown that they had the pace to go, but just look here at Duffy through the gap. 1 or 2 of the Sheffield players perhaps tiring, and Smith as well to take that pass above his head. Okay, he isn't tackled because the Sheffield player has released him when he's on the ground. And the pass there, firstly from Bezic onto Pattison, afforded Tyra the chance to show that he has some class as well. Widnes have scored on the right-hand side, and then with the width here and the accuracy of passing, look at Bezic, sees the ball, puts it immediately in front of Pattison, he ships it onto Tyra, outside of his man Brambini, and scores.
Tyra, 6 tries in 8 appearances since joining on loan from St Helens. They've certainly got their money's worth out of this young man, still only 19 years of age. And this conversion attempt is good. And I don't think the Viking supporters can quite believe it. Their side pretty ordinary early on here, now ahead by 18 points to 12, Barry.
They've been very poor the first 35 minutes, but momentum's a funny thing. Whenever you get it, you keep it going. You come away with points, and the skill level and the accuracy of the passes, along with the speed of Duffy from acting half, gave Widnes just every chance. What can they do from this restart again?
I don't know what caused it, Bill, but I just think that Widnes decided to start to run harder. Runs like this one again here now. And that turnaround came, coincided then with the tries.
Well, we can take it back to that incident on the line when Sheffield were pressing. Richard Fletcher flew off the line, got a hand to it, and I think it was Sam Barlow who snaffled the ball. And it just seemed to galvanise Widnes. They knew that they got away with it. I think they got a penalty shortly afterwards, and they haven't looked back.
I think you're right, Phil. It's a simple game, rugby league. You run harder, you run stronger and faster than your opponents, and you defend strong, and you're more often than not going to come off on the winning side.
And Woodcock trying to redeem himself and doing well out of defence there, the Eagles fullback. So Widnes, this top six place beckoning. Well, they hold sixth place at the moment. A win here tonight and it's theirs, a playoff place after the adversity they've faced this season, starting 9 points behind everybody else. It's no mean achievement. They're not there yet. But with half-time approaching, they've turned this game around. Unbelievable stuff. Here's Craig Brown, a former Bradford Bulls junior. Brown, that was some time ago now. That's a teasing kick. Dodd underneath it. Dodd at the second attempt getting a hold of that. And the penalty, I think, will be awarded against Gavin Dodd. Dave Merrick screamed, play the ball. And then he's going to have a word with Dodd, who's thrown the ball away.
Well, it's importantly stopped the clock, hasn't it? Now, Sheffield have a massive decision. Do they kick a goal here, which will be a difficult option, or go for the try? They've decided to tap it. Brambani's kicked so early in the tackle count.
And they'll get, I think, no, I thought they were going to get the ball from a goal line dropout, but no. Well, that was a bizarre decision from Dominic Brambani to go for that. Whether he thought the clock was running down more rapidly.
Perhaps he's not quite aware of the time left in the game as we are here watching.
Oh, and then the knock-on by Widnes. Well, now the clock is against them. So somebody's lost the plot for the Sheffield Eagles. Well, they've managed to get the clock stopped, but only with 12 seconds. Although that's not definitive, of course.
2 seconds, guys. 12 seconds. Go.
So, can they do anything with this? Woodcock, I don't think, expecting that ball, and came bulleting to him from Brambani. Again, trying to duck under.
Get up. Go.
Barlow made the tackle. This time, Brambani puts the kick in. Warranty chasing for all he's worth. And Gavin Dodd there, and Dodd is tackled. That'll be the last action of what has been a bizarre first half. Mark Aston probably not knowing what to make of it. Steve McCormack looking pretty perplexed as well.